Okay, so we're going to talk through the different components of the Plum 360 pump, just the basic inside of the door and the outside of the pump from front to back. So this is quite a heavy pump. It weighs about 10 pounds. So the first thing that's very important for you to note is that when you secure it to your IV pole, you want to make sure that it's tight enough so that it's not going to inadvertently fall off the pole and hurt you or someone else. So when you pick it up, there's a nice handle on the back that you can grip it with. We have this tightening mechanism back here that will help you to secure it to the pump. So open that all the way up to begin. From there, you'll take the IV pump and place it at the pole. We want to tighten this quite snugly, and you'll actually, once it gets tight enough, you'll know because you'll hear a click, kind of like when you tighten up your gas cap on your car. So you want to tighten it until you hear that clicking noise. You haven't broken anything. That is a sound that you want to hear when you place the pump on the pole, just to make sure that it is in fact secure. So beginning with the back of the pump here, we have our volume button right here. If you turn it to the right, it's going to get louder. If you turn it to the left, it's going to get quieter. At the hospital here at Baylor St. Luke's, we want to make sure that that is on max volume at all times, so it needs to be turned as far over to the right as possible. We also have this Ethernet area back here. We don't link the pumps to our charting just yet. So the main thing to note right here is that we want to make sure that this flap is over it and closed at all times so that no moisture or liquids get in there. You have your plug back here, and these pumps need to be plugged in at all times. First of all, so that you can preserve your battery power, but secondly, anytime an update is pushed out, the pumps need to be plugged in order for that update to come through to the pump. On the front of the pump, beginning on this side, we have our two slots here that you can place your lines in. When you place your line in the slot, it helps to keep everything nice and straight, and it prevents any kinking from happening that can give you erroneous alarms. Your door here is where your cassette goes in. So you need to lift up this purple lever to open up the door, and you'll slide your cassette in there. If you happen to drop something down there, like a cap or something small that you can't get out just by reaching in, if you push this yellow knob over to the side and then pull the door down, it allows you to open the door up completely so that you can get anything out of there. Or if you spill something in there, you can do a quick clean and clean it out. You just go like this to close it and then push the lever down to close the door. When this pump is not in use, we want to make sure that the door is closed at all times so that no damage happens to the door if something were to pull down on it and it was open. Coming over to your display screen, you have two indicator lights here. One is for channel A and one is for channel B. So those will either be solid or blinking, indicating that the pump is infusing when blinking, or if it's solid, that means it's either in standby or the pump is not running. If the light is not lit up at all, that means that there's nothing programmed into that channel. We have our start and stop buttons, our power button. You have your clear key here, so if you place a value in that is not correct, you can clear it out by pushing that clear key. You have your lock button here that allows you to lock the keypad when you are running a infusion that requires an extra safety parameter, or if you're concerned that someone may inadvertently be pressing buttons on your pump and changing settings when they shouldn't be. You have audio pause up here. So the audio pause button, of course, will silence any alarm that you have for 2 minutes. The other function of audio pause is, if your patient's taking a nap or it's nighttime and you don't want the keypad to be making noise when you're typing things in, you can push audio pause prior to programming, and that will make the keypad silent as you press any buttons. Lastly, we'll talk about our hook system that we have on the pumps to be able to hang your bags and organize them. Bearing in mind that this is a volumetric pump, not a gravity pump. So we can hang our bags right next to the pump and they will still infuse as programmed. They don't have to be hanging above, allowing gravity to be pulling them down. So you can organize all of your infusions. If you have multiple pumps, you can place the infusion on these little hooks right next to the associated pump, so you're well organized and you know which infusion is associated with which pump. What you want to do is raise this up first. So there is a black lever back here that we need to push over. We can then raise this up, and then we want to drop this down in order to lock it into place. So from there, you can hang your primary and secondary infusions right next to your pump. Of course, when you're done with it, you'll want to collapse it by pressing that lever over again and then pushing this down.